Imagine for a second saying goodbye to someone you absolutely love. You watch them walk through airport security, totally believing you're going to see them again in just a few short hours. I mean, the plans are made, the final texts are sent, it's completely routine. Well, welcome to this explainer, because today we're diving into a story where that exact routine was just shattered. We're unpacking the deeply unsettling, completely unsolved mystery of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a modern, massive aircraft that literally just vanished.
239. That is the number we need to start with. On the night of March 8, 2014, 239 people boarded a passenger plane for what was supposed to be just a standard run-of-the-mill flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. And it's absolutely crucial we don't just see this as a cold statistic on a page. Behind every single one of those 239 seats was a whole life, a unique story, and a family waiting at the destination. You know, inside that metal tube were passengers from all over the world. We're talking about parents traveling to meet up with their families, workers finally returning home after a long trip, and students who were just heading out to chase their dreams. For every single person on board, it was just a normal journey, nothing out of the ordinary.
But somewhere high above the dark ocean, something went terribly wrong. And it brings us to the core question we're looking at today. How in the world can a modern airplane carrying 239 people simply vanish? No emergency call, no clear explanation, and most hauntingly of all, no confirmed location. It's like a giant puzzle with the most important pieces completely missing.
To really wrap our heads around the shock of what happened next, you kind of have to understand just how intensely mundane this departure was. MH370 took off shortly after midnight, locking into its standard route to Beijing. As those wheels left the tarmac and the plane climbed into the night sky, absolutely nobody knew this flight path was about to become aviation's greatest mystery. I mean, everything was by the book during this first leg of the trip.
So up in the air, the pilots are doing their standard communication with air traffic control, handoffs from one airspace to the next. Stuff that happens, thousands of times a day without a hitch. And then we get the final recorded message from the cockpit. Good night, Malaysian 370. Just pause for a second and let the gravity of those last words sink in. Good night. It was calm. It was routine. There was literally zero indication of panic, technical failure, or distress in that pilot's voice.
But then, shortly after that incredibly calm sign-off, the unthinkable happens. The plane just drops right off civilian radar screens, completely vanishes. It was almost as if the aircraft had just been swallowed up by the night sky itself. No blip, no trace, just gone. Okay, so the scheduled arrival time in Beijing comes and goes, and there's no plane. You can only imagine that hope slowly, painfully, turning into sheer terror for the families waiting at the airport. Hours turn into days, and in response, countries all over the globe immediately jump into action. Ships are deployed to sweep the oceans. Aircraft are scanning thousands of kilometers of water from above. We're talking about an unprecedented, monumental global effort to find any trace of this flight.
And time quickly becomes the enemy here. On day 1, March 8th, the plane vanishes. Then we're looking at weeks that turn into months of this massive search across an enormous, unforgiving ocean, and they find absolutely nothing. The plane is just entirely missing. In fact, it wasn't until more than a year later that a piece of aircraft debris finally washed ashore on Reunion Island, way out in the Indian Ocean.
Investigators rush to analyze the debris, and they confirm it. It's from MH370. Now, this was a massive turning point. It was tangible, physical proof that the plane had ended up somewhere incredibly far away from its intended route. But honestly, while it answered one question, it immediately sparked an even bigger one. If this single piece is here, where is the rest of this massive airplane?
Because without the main fuselage or, the black boxes, investigators are essentially working with breadcrumbs. Over the years, experts have relentlessly scrutinized satellite pings and charted out all these possible flight paths. And naturally, theories spread like wildfire to fill in the blanks. The investigation really split down two main paths. On one side, you have catastrophic technical problems, maybe a fire, rapid decompression, some sort of total systems failure. On the other side, you have human actions, the idea that someone intentionally steered the plane off course.
But here's the major takeaway from all of this. Despite all the incredible expert analysis, no single theory completely explains what happened. Neither side has the whole picture.
The human element.
You know, it is so easy to get totally lost in the technical jargon of satellite data and ocean drift models, but behind all the data, there are real people. Those 239 passengers and crew were parents, kids, friends, people with whole lives ahead of them. And their final chapter, it might still be out there, waiting to be discovered. Because even right now, today, families are still waiting for answers. They're stuck in this heartbreaking limbo, while the truth of their loved one's final moments stays hidden somewhere deep beneath the vast, dark expanse of the Indian Ocean.
Which honestly leaves us right back at square one, staring into the unknown. A totally routine goodbye, a normal takeoff, a calm sign-off, and then just silence. Aviation's most haunting, unresolved mystery is still echoing today. So what really happened to MH370?